Welcome back to WaterparkRanger's Let's Play Pikmin 2! Last episode we started exploring this awesome new area, the Wistful Wild, which is coincidentally, well not really, the last area in the game, so we are drawing ever nearer to the close. I do think it would be a bit presumptuous to say that we're close to the end, because the last 3 dungeons do take quite a long time to finish. At least that's how I'm recalling this. If this is episode 43 now, then I'd say that we're more than 2/3 done with the game. Maybe around the 75% mark. I know it sounds crazy, but think about it. Out of 4 areas, we've done 3, and unlike a lot of last areas, this area is just as big as any others in the game. Because I know that Pikmin 1 had a really short, quick last area. Not the case with this one. Sure, the area itself might not take very long, but the fact is the dungeons just take forever. And right now I'm just using some time to gather up some of these bug bodies. I mean, we worked so hard to defeat them, so it's good that we're just... Oh, awesome, the electric fence is already downed? Wow. For some reason, I kind of figured it would take longer to defeat because it was made of steel. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Can you technically defeat a fence? Whatever. So we broke down the fence, or pushed it into the earth, as the case may be. Which is the case if you look carefully at the map, for the... You know how occasionally, walls will appear inside dungeons in the game that you can break down? Obviously there are walls, otherwise, you'd get lost pretty easily. But I'm talking about, breakable walls, the same kind that you encounter in the overworld. Well, sometimes if you look carefully, over the boundary of the area in a dungeon, you can see that... You can actually see the wall disappearing into the floor, falling down beneath it. And then actually just vanishing from existence, which is actually kind of cool. I should mention, these particular 3 spores here, just like the other ones in the game, they do hold burgeoning spider warts underneath. But unlike the others in the game, they actually contain a mixture, a randomly generated mixture of red and purple berries on the same plant. I believe that stops, though, after a certain day, probably day 30, because so many things change on day 30 in this game. So if you just want to gather some assorted sprays or something and you just want to take your time, the Wistful Wild is a nice place for that. I mean, the Gattling Groink does make it a bit more dangerous than, say, the Awakening Wood, which generally is just the best place all around for getting sprays in Pikmin. Bitter sprays, as they're more of a rare commodity, are generally best. It's best to gather them at Perplexing Pool. Sure, you've got some shearwigs to deal with and the fiery blowhog, maybe a swimming snitch bug, but other than that, not much else. Although on day 30, I'm just going to go ahead and mention this now. On day 30 in Perplexing Pool and afterwards, there will be more dwarf bull bears, up to 6 in the area. It doesn't sound like much, but they can be dangerous, because a spotty bull bear will also appear in the area, right around where the yellow Pikmin's onion is. So for some reason, if you haven't gotten the yellow Pikmin by day 30, you're going to have a hell of a time getting them, because there's going to be a spotty bull bear right where they are. Not that it ever took anyone that long to get the yellow Pikmin. It really shouldn't take anyone that long. And there we have the Conifer Spire. Wow, that was a really low-value treasure. I guess as this day runs to a close, I'm going to want to get some of the whites and take out one of the heavy-duty poison walls in the area. Because there are 2 very strong poison barriers that are surrounding different ways to gain access to the last dungeon. This is kind of a preemptive move because, well, we're not going to go into the last dungeon before we do the other 2. I mean, really, you can do them in any order. I mean, technically, if you really wanted to, you could save, say, the Glutton's Kitchen for last. But who in their right mind would do that? That would just be stupid. As it is, you probably want to save. You'll see. There's a dungeon back here. You see it way over there in the corner of the screen, top left. Okay, it was there, but now it's not anymore. Basically, that right there in that corner. Oh my god, the Gattling Groink is coming back. But yeah, that's the last dungeon in the area. This thing is just so tenacious. So let's just stand over here. And this is not even the kind of tenacity that I admire. This thing is just annoying. And awesome! We were able to break down the first segment of the wall. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's going to be enough time to go into the Cavern of Chaos this episode. Or I should say on this day. Yeah, there's just no time to go in the Cavern of Chaos right now. I mean, I'm really disappointed. I wanted to go into the Cavern of Chaos. It's kind of tradition, because, like I said, there's so many things in the game that I'm so used to doing. Usually on my first day in the Wistful Wild, in addition to all the stuff I do, I'll at least go in the Cavern of Chaos. Oh my god, and we're going to leave some Pikmin behind. Looks like there are 2 yellows over there. Well, I saved one, but where's the other? Oh no, it's right by the edge of the white wall. Aww. I think I've mentioned this before, because I did a previous recording of this that failed, but right there, that yellow Pikmin getting brought back to the ship by Olimar and the President, that looked like a police escort. Yeah, about previous recordings. I've been trying to bring back the, Oh, wow. Look at that sped-up cannon beetle. Sometimes enemies just speed up insanely. And was it just me, or... Yeah, the yellow Pikmin actually dodged all of the rocks and bullets so far. I mean, obviously it's not going to live through the night, but there you have it. Wow, I forgot to mention that thing is worth 3,000 Pokos. That's basically why you want to gather it. So basically, I just wanted to bring up the populations a bit today, because the dungeons are going to be very costly that we're going to go into. Well, there we have it, a sunset death. I barely ever get sunset deaths in the entire Pikmin series. Olimar, you've worked so hard. Your special bonus arrived today. This is a first, right? I brought the kids a few things they've been wanting. They were so happy. And so was I. Yes, that's actually Olimar's wife, not Olimar in some kind of interesting disguise. But yes, it's the running theme of the President's wife looks like the President, Olimar's wife looks like Olimar. I guess this is a case in which the designers being lazy actually produces some pretty interesting effects. Anyway, we're going to be going back to the Wistful Wild in this very same episode, because it would be foolish to have a 6-minute and 30-second episode. I don't see why I would do that. I don't like making the episodes too short. One thing I've been trying to do is I want to end this Let's Play off on a nice square number. I'm aiming for 60, but it's probably not going to be that. I'm thinking, like, maybe I should, like, make some extra features so it would round up to 60. But I've been thinking more and more that that's just kind of an idea I'm not going to go through with, like, just cause... Why do that? Like, it would be pointless. Plenty of my other LPs don't have that same kind of... Like, Harry Potter... no, never mind, that one at 25. I like 25. And if it ends at a 5 or a 0, I'm pretty much set. But, like, Pikmin ended in 24, and Luigi's Mansion ended in 14. So I suppose if we're not going for a running theme, I don't really have to bother with it. We're probably just going to fall to slightly short of 60 episodes for this Let's Play. And with my squad of 100 white Pikmin, we can just take down this, tear down this wall over here pretty quickly, because 100 on the job will be able to get it done with no problem at all. Of course, Ultra Spicy Spray just makes things easier. And over here, if you can't recognize this is actually the landing site of the onions from the impact site in the first game. So that, for me, going there for the first time, that was just a huge rush of nostalgia. I remember when I just slowly discovered, like, this area is actually the final trial and impact site. That was a pretty big reveal for me. I was really interested at the time. I mean, I still think it's a pretty interesting fact. And no, you're not going to drown. Why should you drown when everyone else has to do hard work? We have a few withering blowhogs here, which don't look out of place because they fit the orange coloration, so it actually makes sense that they'd be fought here. So, good job, no aesthetic complaints here. I do, however, have to complain about the creeping chrysanthemums that are so obviously placed here. In the place of where each onion was located, more or less, in the first Pikmin game that landed in the impact site, there is a creeping chrysanthemum basically popping out of the ground here in the Wistful Wild. They shouldn't be a problem at all if we just dodge and then swarm them. But I do want to just kill the withering blowhogs first because they're so annoying. So we'll just get him to bite. Or not. Yes, thank you for being stupid. Now with you out of the way, we can devote our efforts to the creeping chrysanthemum. Which actually is not a chrysanthemum flower. They actually look quite different. I believe that they're actually disguised as sunflowers? Damn it, I know that the Piclopedia actually tells you what type of flower that is in this game. I've just forgotten. I guess that makes me a bad person. Because I can't remember the name of that one flower. Margarets, maybe? Maybe Margarets. I think that's what they're called. Yeah, Margarets. That's what they're called. And on that note, we're gonna... Wait, never mind. That was really weird. Did you see what happened right there? The creeping chrysanthemum is like going to eat the Pikmin, and then just changing his mind. I think the reason why is because of the, Oh, it's because of the way that he's programmed, basically to protect his territory. So most enemies have a certain territory, like they'll chase you for a certain, like, distance, and then they'll turn around. But it looks like he's really wanting to go back and fight them, but because they're just at that edge, he's not able to. So I guess we'll just, we'll kill him now. Like so, that shouldn't be any problem at all. Pikmin chrysanthemums are just kind of annoying because they have so much darn HP. Oh, and it looks like he ended up eating one, but the poison plus our efforts finished him off pretty quickly. And we'll continue this area next episode.